Good afternoon, CC families. This is Cycle 3, Week 22, 5th edition, and this is new memory work of what we covered in class. It has taken me a while to get on here, and so I apologize. We have been on some leave this week, which has been great for our family, and we have also been working on Memory Masters with Wyatt, so it's been eating up a lot of time, but in a good way. But I apologize. Usually I have this video to you before. Let's start with geography. I will use this map, even though it is dirty. Yep. Okay, so we had deserts. Dun, 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 dun. And that's all of these gray areas in here. So here's how I remember deserts. Okay, so this is Death Valley. We haven't covered it yet, but that's what that dark line is. If you make an M right there, that will help you remember that that is the Mojave Desert. Okay, so we have Mojave Desert here. Then we go south to the Sonoran. That's your Sonoran Desert. You can draw an S on it. This little bitty spot right here, it kind of makes a triangle, is the Colorado Desert. You will also notice that the Colorado River dumps right in there. I don't know what she's doing. Colorado River. Now, this desert here is the Painted Desert, because when I spill paint, it splotches out and makes two spills, or like two puddles. So both of those little areas there is the Painted Desert. So again, if you put an M here next to Death Valley, make this into an M, Mojave Desert. If you go south, Sonoran. The little desert right here, tucked right here by the Colorado River, is your Colorado Desert. Your Painted Desert looks like a big spill of paint. And then you have your Great Salt Lake Desert up there by your Great Salt Lake. So those are your deserts. I don't know what she's growling about. All right, timeline. North in hand, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, the Korean War, Martin Luther King Jr. and the Civil Rights Movement, Jim and Elizabeth Elliot, missionaries in Ecuador, to Ecuador, the Antarctic Treaty, the Vietnam War, U.S. astronauts walk on the moon. So our motions for that, most of it is just the letter that goes with the word in sign language. So North Atlantic Treaty Organization, the Korean War, Martin Luther King Jr. and the Civil Rights Movement. This is the sign for rights. Civil Rights Movement. Oh, Jim, tracing out the J with your pinky. Jim and Elizabeth Elliot, missionaries to Ecuador. And this is the sign for Ecuador. This is your equator. This is your E, and you wiggle it back and forth. This tells me that this is the country Ecuador. Ecuador. The Antarctic Treaty, or it's cold, so the Antarctic Treaty, the Vietnam, V, War, and then Rocket Man is how we sign for astronaut, so that's R, and he shoots up, Rocket Man. So U.S. astronauts walk on the moon, and that's your little moon, and there they're walking. Or like I think it was Ricky did it like this, because they didn't have any gravity, so his little man was bouncing all over the place, which is good. Katie Pie. Okay, she's doing all right. All right, commutative law for addition. So the commutative law for addition, I gave them a worksheet, and they traced out A plus B equals B plus A. And the commutative law for multiplication states that A times B equals B times A. And the way I like to help them remember this is that A can call B and B can call A. It doesn't matter which order they come in. They both can pick up the phone and call each other. That's how communication works. It can be you or me. We can go back and forth. History. So this is like the saddest song they could have ever written for this history sentence. So anyway, we can't hardly play it in my house without children crying. So good luck with however you guys do that at home. All right, so tell me about September 11th, 2001. On September 11th, 2001, so this is like our 11, and this is also our Twin Towers. On September 11th, 2001, terrorists hijacked 4 airplanes. They flew 2 into the World Trade Center in New York City. And they had the towers come down. They flew 1 into the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. We just did our little hands to show that it was a building. 1 to the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. And the 4th plane crashed to a Pennsylvania field. So we just showed that it would crash, that it went down. The way that we worked through this with my kids is it's like the number, what it hit, and the location. So Twin Towers in New York City, Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and then the 4th plane crashed into a Pennsylvania field. So I'll do the whole thing for you. Tell me about September 11th, 2001. On September 11th, 2001, terrorists hijacked 4 airplanes. They flew 2 into the World Trade Center in New York City and 1 into the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. The 4th plane crashed into a Pennsylvania field. And then the song goes on, I think it says, on September 11th. Sorry, I'm just checking to see where she is as she crawls underneath the table. Making sure she doesn't have something in her mouth that she should not. What does the theory of intelligent design rely on? So for this, I brought pickup sticks because when you do the game of pickup sticks, you have to do it with intention and purpose so that you don't move any of the other sticks in order to play this game. So we said, what does the theory of intelligent design rely on? The theory of intelligent design relies on the belief that life began as a result of intention and purpose. They'd pick up a pickup stick, try not to move any of the other sticks. And then we had English parts of a sentence phrase. The phrase does not contain both a subject and a verb. So this is the big thing, is that it does not contain both a subject and a verb. And a phrase is a group of words that does not contain both a subject and a verb and may be used as a single part of speech. So for a phrase, the way you spell it is PH. That phonogram, PH, says F, which everyone, when you hear F, you think it should be spelled with an F. So I always remember that it is not an F sound. It's not an F that spells phrase, just like a phrase does not contain both a subject and a verb. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys, but in my brain, it does. And so I remember phrase is the one that I say does not. And so it helps Wyatt. I don't know. So we have a phrase is a group of words that does not contain both a subject and a verb and may be used as a single part of speech. And I think we erased one word at a time with that, but I'm not sure. Latin, John 1:7 is hic venit in testimonium, which means this man came for a witness. Hic venit in testimonium. This man came for a witness, and we just went back and forth. I would say Latin, they would say English, and then vice versa. And I think that is it. So for fine arts, we did Stravinsky, Rite of Spring, and they listened to that, and we talked about how, as a modern composer, when he debuted this ballet and orchestra piece, they were furious and they didn't like it. The audience didn't like it, and they threw things at him and the orchestra. And I had them draw how the music made them feel. And then for probability, for math, we did... What did we do? Did we do the pizza?
Yeah, we did the pizza.
That was last week?
Yeah.
I don't even remember these things. So we pretended to have a pizza parlor. I don't have my notes in front of me. Did we do? John's saying we did pizza. So if I'm wrong, I apologize because I can't remember what we did. No, we did blueberry pancakes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we did. Okay, so we did blueberry pancakes, and this was really fun because we had 6 pancakes, and then we took a die, and we rolled it 15 times. And whatever number landed on the die is what number pancake those blueberries went into. So we were talking about distribution. The distribution of where those blueberries landed in the batter, and if it was likely that you would have 4 or more blueberries per pancake or 4 or less, or what's the likelihood that you would have 15 blueberries in one pancake versus maybe a pancake that had 0 blueberries. So we just talked through that. Our big terms there were distribution, and I feel like there was another word. Can't think of what it is right now, but so that's what we did. Our end of the year presentation will be tell me about General Robert E. Lee. And so keep having them practice that sentence at home. In 1865, General Robert E. Lee surrendered to General Ulysses S. Grant at Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia. And we practiced it, and they seem to really enjoy it. The foundations group will be asked to bring desserts. You can bring about a dozen to 2 dozen of whatever you want to make. I think it's pretty low key. If you don't make something, I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. So if you need help with anything, let me know. If you have any questions, let me know. I think that is it. And I will see you all on Tuesday for week 23. All right. Thank you. Bye.